Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my steampunk console build. As you've seen in part 1, I picked up these metal gears from a mechanic friend of mine that came out of a standard transmission. We just let them soak in super clean degreaser overnight and then rinsed them off, and now we're welding them on. I'm just kind of welding them in a random pattern where they look mechanical. This is my first time actually working with metal gears. In my other projects I've used wood gears that I custom painted to look metal. This definitely opens up the possibility of having moving parts using actual metal gears. I'd really like to try to find a slow turning electric motor that I can maybe hook up and we could at least get these gears rotating on a piece of furniture. I think that would be really cool. So if you have any recommendations or suggestions for that, please leave a comment below or send me an email. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these original legs on here for now, just so I know everything's still level where it's supposed to be. I'm going to set this here, but I'm going to move it up higher because I have an idea for putting adjustable feet on it, which hopefully it'll work out. So I just made these blocks. These are going to be the length of what my adjustable feet will be. So I'm going to put those underneath it and then just figure out where I need to get my bolt holes to bolt this up to the console. So as you can see, I'm cheating it forward a little bit. My original plan was to put it centered on there, but if I put it centered, it's gonna, well, I'll just show you. If I put it centered, it's gonna hang back here real far, and I'm afraid that they're not gonna be able to put it up against the wall. It'll be 3 or 4 inches away from the wall. So we'll just cheat it forward a little bit, like so. Should be all good. So I decided instead of doing 2 bolts at the top symmetrical and 2 at the bottom symmetrical, I said to go kind of random with the bolts to add a little more character to it. So now we just got to go through and zip, 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 zip. Put the bolts in, should be secured to there. Then we can start figuring out what we're going to do for the adjustable feet. Just in case you're wondering what I'm using, this is a cheap $4 unibit from Harbor Freight. I've had these around forever. They last forever. Just doing what you've seen I was doing with the metal and the wood, and they just keep on going. Now, it's not to be said, if you go and get one of these bits from like Home Depot or the metal shop that's $35, there's night and day difference between a $35 bit and a $4 bit, but the $4 bit's doing what I need it to. Now I only cleaned up one end of the stud, so you'll see me threading them all the way through to the other end. I did that on purpose so that the nuts would have a place to stop, and that's where I'm going to weld them. Whew, that's some ugly welds. I should have hit those nuts with a wire brush or something first to knock whatever coatings on them off, but I just need it to hold still. Now I'll go through and hit it with the grinder and make it look all pretty. If you haven't watched part 1 already, make sure to check that out. I show how I make these wood 1/4-inch thick gears using the X-Tool laser. I'm going to be using Gorilla Super Glue to attach these to the console. To make sure it has good adhesion, I'm going to go through and rough up the console just to make sure they stick well. Afterwards, I go through and add bolts or screws to the center of the gears just to add a little bit more support. Sometimes I will use the trim gun to hold these in place, but I've been learning that the super glue is strong enough to hold it as long as you have a good textured surface for it to glue to. Like it? Glasses. Like, come on. Come on, do it. Oh, good job. Oh, okay. You're heavy. You're heavy. Oh. Let's go get some dinner. So I decided to start engraving tumblers with this cool X-Tool laser. I've been wanting to come up with creative ways where y'all could help support the channel. Y'all know we rely on y'all, the subscribers, to keep going and to get something cool in return for your support. I have these posted up on Etsy for sale. It includes a stainless steel straw, a pipe cleaner to clean the straw, and of course the spill-proof top. Now let me tell you, the first 24 hours I had these posted up for sale, every single tumbler that sold was a picture of Colossus. Yep, we know who the real star of this show is. I guess I should have changed the name to Colossus and His Human. Now, I'll put a link down below to my Etsy store if you're interested in getting one of these. Now, if you're not a big fan of using Etsy, I also accept Venmo as well, and I can ship them out to you as long as you're in the US. Thanks for all your support, guys. Let's get back to the video. All right, I'm going to take these and hit them with my grinder, knock some of the paint off of it, and then soak them in water and throw them outside, see if we can't get a little natural rusting going on. I found these cool pipe clocks clearanced out at Hobby Lobby for 25 bucks each, so I got a couple of them. I'm just going to go through and distress it and give it a little more aging. It just mounts hanging on 2 hooks, that way you can pull it off and change out the battery. I decided to add some wood trim to the front of the legs, so I am just planing down some cedar fence posts that I had, and then figure out how I can attach them. I think I'm going to go ahead and use Allen head screws as a decorative attachment point. I decided to go ahead and put gears behind the legs where you could see in through the openings. Just thought it would add a little bit more detail to the piece. Like I said, on all these pieces, I just kind of make everything up as I go along, so there's a lot of times I am putting stuff together and taking it back apart a few times. I'm going to go through and add some trim to the front of this console as well, just to add to the appearance. These will end up getting painted the same color as the console, so I'm going to go ahead and prime over the bare wood. Time to tackle this top. We're just going to very gently sand it down with 220 and make sure we don't sand through any veneer. My mouth. Ready to go for a 2-hour drive?